Enter Architects of Adventure, and welcome to RollCraft, your forge for everything TTRPG. Whether you're here to follow thrilling adventures, sharpen your skills as a player or dungeon master, or craft your own worlds from scratch, you found your party. From character creation to campaign design, dice rolls to storytelling, we're here to guide, teach, and inspire. So grab your gear, roll for initiative, and let's build something legendary together. This is RollCraft.
From cages to caves. 5 years post-Civil War. The characters awaken in the custody of mercenary slavers moving through a blasted region once hit by biowarfare, somewhere near the ruins of Bastion's Hollow. The first thing they feel is the cold. Damp air clings to their skin like sweat that never dried. Iron digs into their wrists, raw and tight. They hear the rhythmic creaking of wooden wheels and the squelch of mud under heavy boots and hooves. Somewhere a chain rattles. The groan of a dying animal cuts through the fog, and then they smell it. Rot, sharp and sour like spoiled blood and fungal bloom. Their eyes adjust to a world the color of ash. They're chained inside an open-topped prisoner wagon, and the bars slick with rain and rust. Around them, broken silhouettes slump in silence. Dozens of other captives, heads low, eyes vacant. Outside the cage, mercenaries dressed in mismatched armor and tattered earth-toned cloaks trudge alongside the caravan. Some wear masks, leather-beaked, arcane-bubbled, or painted bone white, meant to ward off sickness. Others don't bother. The land they roll through is scarred beyond recognition. Once green hills have collapsed into slime-choked giles. Trees stand stripped of bark and twisted towards the sun like they're screaming. Craters bubble with thick, creamy muck, and old stone towers, once proud military holds, now lean like drunken bones. A cracked sign juts from the sludge, mostly buried in mold. They can just make out the name. Bastion's Hollow, Quarantine Zone. Enter with caution. A mercenary captain barks something in a tongue not their own, and the caravan halts. Ahead, black clouds churn above the valley like smoke from a pyre, and a low wind picks up, sharp and sulphurous, carrying the scent of chemical spells, gone stale and unnatural. The party awakens, groggy, cold, and restrained. Their gear is missing. The storm continues as the caravan winds through the edge of a blight-scarred region where nothing grows right. The players are each manacled and chained to a bar on a prisoner transport wagon. Their captors are a mix of brutal mercenaries and opportunistic slavers operating outside the law. A strange mix. Tieflings, half-elves, 4 bugbears, trolls, and 1 silent figure in full plate. Who they serve and what they want remains unknown. The landscape is charred, fungal, or chemically warped. Blackened trees with fungal tumors, skeletal animals, and ruined watchtowers dot the horizon. The rain falls in streaks of pale gray, soaking the cracked wood of the prison wagon. Each drop leaves ghostly white stains on exposed skin, as if bleaching life from flesh. The cage rattles as the caravan trudges through the blasted wasteland, scarred by biowarfare, reeking of arcane corruption. Muted groans echo from other wagons. Some prisoners gibber nonsense through mutated mouths. Others weep silently, madness etched in their eyes. Inside, the party sits shackled, tied, bloodied, and waiting. A swift shink cuts through the quiet. A bugbear guard hunches over a whetstone, dragging a long knife across it. Nearby, a prisoner with an arcane muzzle sobs beneath it, the muzzle glowing with containment runes, a cruel warning to any who dare stir trouble. One prisoner mutters in his sleep, just loud enough for the party to hear. "He's still in the fire. He never got out." It cuts through the noise like a knife. Too specific, too familiar. A whisper dredged up from the sorcerer's past. Lucan leans forward, seizing the moment. He starts whispering to one of the bugbear guards, planting seeds of dissent, how the slavers treat them like brutes, how they're not getting their fair share. The bugbear scowls, not at Lucan, but towards the caravan leader. Then one of the trolls, the hulking albino one with moss in its teeth, fixes its eye on Lucan. It drags a claw slowly along the bars. Tink, tink, tink. A toothy grin spreading as it licks its cracked lips. It wants something. Probably nothing more than the bars to disappear from between them. Inside the cage sits two other figures with the party, a human named William, and an extremely mud-caked halfling who goes by the name Monty. Monty introduces the two of them to the party with a brash character as she attempts to act menacingly towards the others. They end up in a huddle with the party, voices low and urgent. The group devises a plan. Stage a fight. Monty, ever dramatic, launches into a performance, yelling and shoving Theron, who not so gladly plays along. The commotion draws a slaver, one of the ones on horseback, to break up the fight, opening the cage door to handle the situation. As he does, a hooded figure appears on horseback. The Drow. Cloaked in shadow and face half hidden, save for the arcane runes carved into what little skin is exposed. She calls the guard away. Her eyes flare with a glowing red pulse, slamming the cage door shut with an arcane ripple that dances up her scarred neck. Though her skin is barely seen beneath layers of black cloth and a weather-stained hood. The little that is visible tells enough. Carved runes line her cheekbones like sacrificial script, etched with intent rather than ink. Some of the marks look burned in, others older, faded like memories that refuse to disappear completely. When she lifts a hand on the reins, no words, no gesture, just will. Her eyes blaze with an arcane crimson, not like fire, but like something deeper, something old, coiling out from her soul like a rising tide. That glow pulses outwards, racing up the lines of her face, down her neck, flickering through her scars like veins of living magic. The runes pulse in time with it, alive, responding. Her steed mirrors the unnatural elegance, a black horse massive and silent. Its coat catches no light. Its eyes glow with the same bloody arcane fire as its rider. Unblinking, unnatural. It doesn't whinny. It doesn't breathe. It waits. As the guard turns away, V uses mage hands, silent and precise, to lift a ring of keys from the belt of a distracted guard. With no eyes prying on them as the caravan begins to move again, they begin unlocking shackles, but not before Monty, with a cheeky wink, steals the keys from V and frees herself and William first. She grins before tossing the keys back to the others. The caravan halts for the night beside a broken road, pitching tents in the rotting grass across from a dark and hazy forest. 2 wagons filled with prisoners, with one on either side of the road, as the 2 supply carts surround the slavers' camp of tents. 4 bugbears sit off from the rest of the mercenaries, whispering amongst themselves, as the 2 trolls guard both ends of the camp. The air is heavy with smoke and wet ash. Theron buys a moment of distraction by getting a guard to fetch his flask. As he drinks, he shares the liquor with the guard, gaining some friendly conversation as the others ready themselves. In the second wagon, a blue tiefling with coiled horns gives a nod at V's arcane message. Make a distraction. Got it. Theron attempts to convince the guard that the purple tiefling in the other wagon is hurt enough to need medical attention from his party member Ophirin, but the guard shows his true colors, throwing racist remarks towards the tiefling in chains. Then everything happens all at once. Monty springs the lock, swinging the door open as the guard walks away, and in the other wagon, Roki, the blue tiefling, bold and flirtatious, slams their door swinging open as well, grabs the guard by the collar and starts passionately kissing him. The guard freezes and tumbles backwards in the mud. That's the signal. V tries to pull an old man from their wagon as he climbs out, but the old man resists. He's sunken in, wild-eyed. When V urges him to escape with them, the man begins to tremble, his eyes turning ghost white. He speaks in a voice that is not fully his own.
When the sun bleeds backwards, and the raven forgets its name, the puppeteers in crimson shall dance with chains. One was taken, not lost, not dead, not free. A candle burns in a windowless room, and the flame is not hers.
He gasps and grabs V's hand.
Do not knock on doors that open inward. Some prisons beg to be entered.
And then he collapses, his body vibrating with convulsing jolts as he begins to turn to dust. Lucan, seizing the chaos, rallies the bugbears to their side, promising respect and their coin if they turn against their cruel employers. They agree. The trolls, however, are less diplomatic. Combat explodes. One troll charges Lucan only to fall through an arcane pit conjured by Ewan. Fire begins to spread. Tents blaze, the slavers cry out in confusion. A second troll charges only to meet the same fate. Another pit swallows it whole. William steals horses as Monty digs through the supply wagon, looking for something in their personal items. Theron climbs on after hitching a horse to the front, and trying to drive a supply wagon is wounded and tumbles from the seat. Ophirin rushes forward, catching the reins as Monty digs through the crates, tossing weapons to those in need. Roki, still atop the guard, quickly stands as the drow rides by on her black horse, grabbing the arm of the blue tiefling and swinging her up on the back of the horse before the 2 ride after the other escaping prisoners who ran off into the dark wood. Ewan and Lucan chase after, expecting betrayal, but find instead that Roki and the drow mean no harm to the escapees, perhaps even allies. Back at the fire, V spreads flame like a vengeful storm, with a mask covering his face. With one last glance at the inferno, the party escapes into the night, leaving the bugbears to deal with the remaining mercenaries. The party and the other freed prisoners regroup in a hidden cave beneath a mossy ridge. Mushrooms glow faintly at the entrance, casting ghost light across the stone. It's quiet and safe. For now. Inside they meet the others. A warforged, sturdy and sweet, tends to a purple tiefling girl who looks deathly ill. The drow sits alone on a rock in a corner, her expression unreadable. Loki lounges beside Theron and V, her grin coy and warm. When Theron tries to flirt his way into her bedroll, claiming he has none of his own, V offers to share his. Loki just laughs. Maybe another night, and walks off towards the drow. They sleep, for the first time in days, in the quiet warmth of stone and a crackling fire. Before rest claims him, Lucan moves towards the Warforged, who is now gently removing the arcane muzzle from a man named Jan, the priest from the other wagon. There are questions to be asked, stories to unfold, and a long, dangerous road ahead.
And that wraps up another exciting episode of RollCraft. Keep rolling those dice and crafting your tales long after our mics are off. If you enjoy the journey, don't forget to share it with your fellow adventurers and join us next time for more rolling and crafting.